105 Your diet. One of the side effects of mothers leaving the kitchen in favor of more interesting, sociable, and better paid work is, sadly, that their children are not being fed properly. In 1985, a survey was carried out on over 4,000 children throughout England and Wales to try and find out how well they were fed. The results were alarming. Once, schools try to make up for these deficiencies by providing free milk and cheap meals. Now the price of meals is increasing continuously. Moreover, free milk is no longer provided since the government believes that the nation's children are properly fed, and that children's dietary standards are not the business of the government anyway. According to the results of the survey, however, it has become obvious that schools play a very important part in a child's diet. Before the Second World War, the mother supplied the family's nourishment, i.e. the food that is needed to grow and remain healthy. Now the responsibility is divided between home and school. A third of the working force in England are women, 2/3 of them married, half with school-aged children. Many have long distances to travel to work and are not prepared to spend hours working in their home in the evening or at the weekend. These facts mean that the approach to food and its preparation has changed a lot since the war. During the war, many women were required to work in industry and weren't able to spend much time cooking for their children. Children's diets were therefore supplemented outside the home by various welfare agencies, including the schools. In other words, additional food was provided to improve children's diets. The situation really has not changed very much. More and more women are going out to work and are either just not at home when their children need to be fed, or are short of time to prepare proper meals. The children consequently end up with meals of chips, chocolate, and bread and jam. If we, as a society, want our children to be properly nourished, then the most sensible way is to use the school system through which every one of them passes for 10 years of his or her life. A school can plan and serve well-balanced weekly diets to all its children, supplementing the diets of those who are not able to get proper meals at home, and certainly doing no harm to those that are. 106 Danger for the fun of it. Dennis Joyce is a 30-year-old employee of an electric company in New York City. To break up the monotonous regularity of his life, he spends many weekends and vacations whitewater canoeing. He is one of the growing number of Americans who in recent years have become interested in dangerous sports to fill their leisure hours. Although he has fallen into the river several times, Mr. Joyce has never been hurt himself. Yet he admits he has seen some very serious accidents. People who take part in risky sports usually have several things in common. Most are men. They know about the dangers of their sport. And almost all of them look down on usual sport like tennis and golf. There's just nothing happening in sports like tennis and golf, said Steve Kaufman, a 44-year-old Manhattan bill collector who scuba dives in his spare time. According to him, the only people who come close to the experience of scuba divers are astronauts because they're in a totally alien or foreign environment too. Kaufman describes a sport as a complete isolation from anything that can interfere with your own personal sense of self. Mr. Kaufman said his most dangerous moment as a diver came when he found himself looking at about 800 to 900 sharks. Fortunately, he managed to get out of there really fast. George Weigel, a 31-year-old carpenter from Pawling, New York, enjoys hang gliding. Although many risk-takers see hang gliding as the most dangerous sport of all, Weigel feels hang gliders just look for some excitement. He says, "It's so thrilling that I think I'll continue hang gliding until I get too old for it. Everything else seems boring compared to it." According to Dr. George Serbin, associate professor of clinical psychiatry at New York University, most men willingly look for danger in order to prove their masculinity.